So if you've been following me for a little while, you may notice that I used to do shorts reviews every day for the book that I'm reading the previous day. And I hit a slump in February. And I really tried to keep reading, and I just couldn't. And so I have a backlog of some of my shorts reviews, but I think I'm going to switch up the format. So I'm going to show you these, and I'm going to record these shorts videos for the books that I read before my slump. And I'm going to talk about my slump in a different video, and what I read to get over it. So be on the lookout for that one. It'll probably be later on this week, if not early next week. But I did want to get out these reviews. But I think I'm going to start doing them in these formats. I think I'm going to do a long video and do a week's worth of reviews. It was putting too much pressure on me to have a book read every day by say 10 o'clock in the morning so that I could get the video filmed and edited and put up on my shorts channel. And it was getting too much, and I was starting to burn myself out. And if I want to keep up my thing and I want to read all 365, I'm a few books behind now because of my slump. But once again, I'll talk more about that after. I decided that I'm going to do it this way from now on. So if you liked my shorts, you can still find them. You're just going to find 7 of them at a time. I also found that sometimes a minute was too long to talk about some books, but a minute is too short to talk about other books. And I was doing disservice to some of the books by not fully explaining why I loved them or why I didn't. So from now on, I'm going to do my video reviews like this, so you can try to find these probably about once a week. So let's dive into the first videos. So the first video I'm going to talk about is Fangirl Down by Tessa Bailey. So I'm actually not going to dive too much into this book because, in all honesty, this was one of the 2 books that put me into a reading slump. And I want to do a full video on that. So I'm just going to do a short book. This was by no means my favorite Tessa Bailey book. I had to slug my way through it. It wasn't the golf, because I get golf and I understand golf. I don't play golf, but I don't know if it was the characters or their interactions. I didn't like this book. I ended up only giving it 2.5 stars with a 3 for spice. The next one is With Any Luck by Ashley Poston. This one is another one of the novellas in that Meet Cute series that you can find on Amazon. While I normally love Ashley Poston's books, this one just didn't do it for me. I think the novella length was too short to really do the magical realism and the time jumps that she had in this justice. So honestly, if you're reading this series, this one was a skip for me. But if you're a diehard Ashley Poston fan, then give it a try. I only gave it 2 stars with 0 for spice. Next up is Royal Valentine by Ciara Wilson. Now, I didn't know that this was like a novella in the middle of a series. You meet some of the characters from the previous series in this book, they rethink, but it was a cute little story. She is a princess from another, I think it's like a made-up kingdom because I'd never heard of it. And she meets him in Italy. He's Scottish. He's keeping secrets from her. She's keeping secrets from him. Overall, it was a really cute story, but it wasn't my favorite in this series, and I don't know if I liked it enough to want to continue reading this series by her and figure out what I missed. I might, but I have too many other books on the horizon that I'm looking forward to instead. But all in all, I gave this one 3 stars with 0 for spice. Next up is the graphic audio version of Fourth Wing by Rebecca Yarros. So I have read Fourth Wing before. I've actually read it and listened to it separately. I read it when it first came out, and then I listened to it again and realized that I like listening to romantasy a lot better than I like reading it. This, however, is a review of the graphic audio version. It is put out in 2 parts, but I'm only counting it as 1 book towards my reading goal for the 365. And what a graphic audio version is it's not broken up into chapters, and it is completely narrated by different voice actors. So there is a voice actor who is doing the voice of Violet and doing the background narration and all that. But anytime, say, Xaden speaks, there is a voice actor for Xaden. And if Rhiannon speaks, there is a voice actor for Rhiannon. It also has different sound effects. Like if she says someone was walking up behind me, you hear footsteps in the background. There is also music in the background that like helps to like make the theme of the thing. So they call it listening to a movie, is what how graphic audio describes it. And they have other series. I looked, nothing that I was immediately interested in reading. I'm not going to review the book itself because I've already reviewed that, and it has a 4.5 stars. And if you haven't seen my other reviews of the book, I will post them up in the corner. But I'm going to review the graphic audio version. And while this is nothing against this story and the graphic audio version itself, where my downfall with the graphic audio versions was the music. And that's because the music is meant to be listened to at one speed, but I listen to my audiobooks at a 2, or if not 2.25, 2.5 speed, depending on the narrator. And so when I sped up the book, I could only get it to 1.75 before the music became intolerable to listen. But I also found that it was dragging, like the voices were dragging for me, and that's just my personal preference because I don't like music sped up, but I do like audiobooks sped up. So when the two collided is when I had a problem. So if I'm just rating the graphic audio part, I gave it a 4, but I've previously given this book a 4.5, and you can see my reviews if you click on one of the links. Sorry for the change of scenery. I could run out of time filming that last one. So the last book I read is not actually really a book. I read Manacled by Sun Yin Liu. So I'm not going to dive into why I read this, and I'm also not going to really review it. And that's because since reading this, I have dove a bit further into the fan fiction world, and I have come to realize that reviewing books like this, reviewing fan fiction, not books, is not accepted in the fan fiction community, and I completely understand that. I want to support them and have this remain free and thing. So I do not support buying fan fiction, and I do not support reviewing it. So I'm just going to tell you what I liked about it and a little bit of what I didn't like, which isn't necessarily about the book itself and more about my personal preferences, but I'm not going to give you a review or a spice rating for this one. So the writing is amazing, top notch. I understand now why she got traditionally published or is in the process of getting traditionally published. The writing is amazing. The intricacy, the attention to detail, spot on. I loved it. The only things that weren't for me, and these are my personal preferences, this is nothing against the author or the work itself, it is that it is a Hermione fan fiction, which is Draco and Hermione. I am not, as I found out while reading this, a fan of the morally gray character. I know that that's big all over in the book community, having morally gray book boyfriends. I've determined that it's not for me. I like my golden retriever boys. I don't even like overly grumpy men, as from what I've come to realize. But that is a personal preference of mine. And part of the reason why, what I didn't necessarily enjoy about the book, but that is once again my personal preference. The writing, the characters, the descriptions, everything spot on. If you ever want to try to dive into fan fiction and you're open to Hermione as a pairing, this is definitely a good place to start. Yeah, it is really long. It is 1,500 pages, so do take that into note when you do start it. So those are books number 46 to 50 in my reading 365 romance books in a year challenge. Let me know if you liked this format. I'm going to try it out for a month or so, probably through March, to see if this kind of relieves the stress of having to film so much so quickly. And I'm hoping that you guys will enjoy these reviews. Leave a comment down below. Let me know if you have read any of these and what you thought of them. And yeah, thanks for watching. Bye.